Into the Apex is brought to you by our sponsors, Bad Weather Brewing Company, out of St. Paul, Minnesota, with craft brews like the Immortal Toast Infused White Stout or the Red Vein Red IPA. On tap or in the can, it's how endurance drivers celebrate post-race. Find your new favorite craft beer and order your mugs at badweatherbrewery.com. This episode is also brought to you by our racing fans at Great Hire Staffing. Whether you need help hiring one employee or 100, Great Hire can help. Hiring good people is hard work. Great Hire HR does it quickly and economically so you can focus on what's important, running your business. Check them out online at greathirehr.com. And finally, this episode is sponsored by Roscoe Wheels. Roscoe Wheels is confidence-inspiring aluminum. This means confidence in quality and confidence in self. Confidence in quality meaning they want their customers to know what their wheels are produced to the highest standard and tested to be as strong as anything on the market, and are designed to keep you safe. Confidence in self, meaning they want their styles and fitments to make customers feel the way you did when you walked into high school with a brand new pair of shiny shoes, giving you confidence in yourself when you show up, whether it be to work or any event, knowing you look awesome. Roscoe Wheels offers free shipping within Canada and flat rate shipping in the USA. Find your new look today at roscoewheels.com.
Where the world of real and virtual auto sport meets. Mad Sim Racing Media presents the Into the Apex podcast.
And this is Into the Apex, episode 16 for madsimracing.com. Tyler, Bradley, Rob, the usual, and we're joined by Bruce Perry, our endurance director, and kind of hanging out tonight, getting ready for Daytona. We're a couple weeks out from the big Daytona 24. It's January 8th as we record this, and we're having some drinks here, enjoying the kickoff, basically, celebration of a pretty intense next couple weeks for the Daytona 24. And Bruce, we're putting in a lot of work for this thing. I know you have been, and I think a lot of work is still to come here coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, it's gonna ramp up here. We got a lot of new guys joining. Got to get them squared away, and I think everybody's been working pretty hard. I've been watching all the posts here, reading through them right now actually, and everyone's working hard. So it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, busy Mad Sim Racing offices, and
yes,
it's buzzing right now. We've had teams set since November. Basically, we've had our core guys set, but even now, this past week, everybody that's involved with iRacing, I think anybody that's following, whether it's the Reddit, the forums, or whatever, Facebook groups, even. I mean, people are still out there trying to find teams, trying to jump on basically bandwagons and find a partner, a dance partner, so to speak. You've been doing this a lot longer as far as endurance racing than any of us three that are here right now. Have you always had a long pre-planning period, or have you ever been one of these like last minute kind of jump in with just some random guys and hit the track?
The first year I did it was let's get a few guys together and let's go do this thing, and of course the bug bit me, and we didn't run so well. And I vowed, you know what? I know better. I know how this needs to work. And from there on in, it was like, okay, here's how we do this. And, it's worked. It's you get back what you put into it, right? So it's a lot of work.
Yeah, just putting laps in and staying focused on practice laps that's a problem I have is I do practice, but after maybe a stint or two of practice, I want to feel that race mode, and I want the race feeling or the adrenaline of chasing somebody with purpose. And it's hard. I've noticed it's hard to be disciplined, but to really get good at this, and I think there's a term you used, I can't remember it. Was it implicit memory or something like that? To really get that kind of muscle memory of driving these tracks and these cars.
Yeah, I think I did mention it to you. Yes, there was the explicit memory and implicit memory. Yeah, and you want to burn this place into your implicit memory. Meaning that the track, everything becomes second nature, and you can multitask. Driving you don't even think about it. So now you can concentrate on everything else. If you go out there, Daytona is a fairly easy track, but if you go out there and you got to concentrate on your race line and things like that, yeah, you're probably going to be in trouble come race time.
And Bradley, you, myself, and Rob, we're going to be teamed up with David. How you feeling about it? We're a couple weeks out. You feel ready?
Somewhat there. I mean, we have a lot of time left.
I like the confidence.
Somewhat.
Somewhat.
I think we're going
Little
to finish in maybe top 20. No, I mean, I'm comfortable at Daytona. I've like you have. I mean, it's one of the tracks I think we're more comfortable at than not. Some kinks to work out, and I still need more seat time, I think, in the LMP2, which we'll get. We have a lot of time coming up, a lot of testing sessions and practice sessions as it gets closer. We also have the 2 hours coming up with the MSR Road Challenge on Monday. So I mean, there's going to be time to get even more acclimated to the car. So I feel pretty good. I mean, I'm by the time we get there, we'll be well to that point, or at least close to it.
How about you, Rob? How you feeling?
I feel pretty much the same way I feel 2 weeks out from any of the 24-hour events. Like, it in my head that I'm totally not ready, but then just keep practicing. And then once the actual race day comes, I'll be anxious as hell until I get into the seat. And, after the first lap, it's just, I go into like a zone, right? So it's the same thing, but now I know in my head it's just the same thing I always do.
Yeah, come race morning, you'll be waking up. You'll be like Tom Brady walking in. They'll have the cameras on you. You'll be in a trench coat, sunglasses. You'll have your big giant headphones on, getting pumped up and ready to roll.
Oh no, I'll be a nervous wreck. But once I get in the car, Tom Brady.
He's honest.
Get in the race mode. Yeah.
You need to put your pump up music on. We'll have to go through and discuss what our procedure is before we get into the car.
Yeah. Well, no doubt we'll be breaking it down, and we've got this week. I think we have 2 more episodes, and then of course the week of the 24 we'll be doing a special episode to kind of kick it off. And our team specifically, the week after, the Friday after the 24, we'll be doing kind of a wrap party similar to our Christmas party, where we basically drink and virtually drive, and that was quite fun. So we're going to do that again, any excuse we get, and including tonight as we kick things off. I'm here sipping some bourbon. I think, Bruce, what do you have? Some wine?
Yeah, a little wine.
A little fancy wine. Bradley, what
fancy.
You got the beer tonight. We're all doing something different.
Yeah, a little beer from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Yeah. And Rob, I saw you were drinking what, an espresso?
Yeah, I'm having a latte.
What the hell?
Just got a new espresso machine.
Yeah,
So
we were all sharing pictures of what we were gonna sip during this episode as we kick things off.
Is there any adult beverage in that latte?
Not this one, but I have tried that. I've been drinking like 5 of them a day now because I'm just trying all these different things with it.
It looked white. It looked like milk when you sent us a picture. Milk.
Well, yeah, and that's what latte is. It's half and half.
I just drink black coffee. I don't know.
See, real
Yeah, and
quick, I thought it was a White
I
Russian.
will just drink like a shot of espresso or whatever. But yeah, there's a lot of milk in a normal espresso or a normal latte.
Oh wow! So everybody's having a little something different, and some people are getting turned up and some turned down, I guess. But if you hear some clink of ice, that's what we got going on here. A little bit of a kickoff party for Mad Sim Racing as a team. And a couple weeks out. Bruce, I know you've not only experienced a lot of the virtual Daytona 24, you've actually been to the real 24, and that's something I'm interested in hearing about. We've heard about it somewhat, but we've never really gotten into any kind of experiences there. But you've been there in real life for more than once, I think, right?
Yeah, I would say probably 8 or 9 times. Most of them have been in capacity of being a fan, but I did fortunately get to crew for a team for four races there. So yeah, it's quite the experience, and highly recommend it. It's just the whole event is just something to behold. It's a great time. But yeah, I love it. I just wish Daytona was a little closer for me, and if I could get down there a little more often. But I'll get back, and maybe we could do a Mad Sim Racing, meet up there.
Yeah, that's the plan. We've all been talking about it. Is having basically a Mad Sim Racing convention at the Daytona 24 one year, because it's Bradley and I have always said over the years we've been. Even if we don't watch every single sports car race, even in the Grand Am days and things like that, we would always tune in for the Rolex 24, even if we didn't watch much else throughout the year. And our observation of it, or way of describing it, it always seemed like I guess what you could say is a music festival for racing, because there's just so much going on over so much time that you can really dig in. The idea of camping and just setting up camp and doing it, staying up all night. I mean, you even get that with the virtual 24. Bruce, I think you're like me. I kind of am excited. There's some people that they don't want those overnight stints. They're not into that. They want to sleep the regular sleep. But you and me, at least, have said before that it's kind of the excitement of it is staying up all night and pulling an all-nighter. It's something out of the ordinary.
It's all part of it, you know. I laugh when everyone's like, "Hey, we should team up with some European guys or something to get so they can run the night and all that." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"What are you talking about? You know, run the whole thing. Be up for the whole thing." I take little cat naps here and there myself.
Yeah.
Getting a little older, so it's a little tougher to stay up all night, you know. But and then the same thing with the real 24. You know, we camp out and, like you say, it's like a festival sort of atmosphere. You can wander around at 3 o'clock in the morning, go into the paddocks, and you got teams working on cars that, maybe they've been involved in a crash or whatever. Got the Ferris wheel running all night, so yeah, it's really, really cool. And, the virtual is, I find, just as cool to be up all night for it.
Yeah. I know. I mean, no doubt we'll get there in real life as a team. I mean, at least as a not saying we'll field a car there. But
hey, I believe in us.
Yeah,
I believe in us.
Yeah, that's the goal for 2030. But no, I mean, yeah, I think the talk kind of behind the scenes or even out in the open has been at some point in the future to get as many of us that want to get together in real life together as possible, because there's a lot of camaraderie with the team on the track and on the Discord and everywhere. So I could see either Daytona or one of the IMSA events being one of those occasions.
Yeah, taking into the Apex on the road. I mean, that's just a matter of time. That's not even a question. We're going to take this show on the road to some race events once we're able to get to them and things kind of open up. I'm looking forward to that. Just a matter of where.
I know F1 in Montreal.
Yeah. Hey, we'll head up. We'll have Mad Sim Racing Canada and
we got
Canada.
That VIR. We have Mid Ohio close, Watkins Glen. We have people in all the regions.
Long Beach. That's an option.
Yeah.
Get out that way. But hey, Le Mans, let's set that as a goal, 10-year goal.
There you go.
Into the Apex and the media section of Le Mans.
Yeah.
That would be, I would love to do Le Mans someday.
Yeah.
It's on my bucket list too.
Yeah. And I think not to get too far off topic at Daytona, but the 24 Hours of Lemons, that series, that's there have been posts made about making a sim racing team turned real life racing team in the 24 Hours of Lemons. I've really looked into that. That's kind of interesting. I feel like it'd be quite a risk to my safety just looking at it, but hey.
But I think it's a great idea myself.
Yeah, hey, we got the resources and we have the people for it. We got a crew. We may not know what we're doing with some of the stuff, but
trial by fire.
Maybe literally fire. Yeah. But yeah, getting back to Daytona and kind of the mix between the real and the virtual. I mean, it's really going to be an exciting last couple of weeks of January, because as sim racing drivers, we've got an event and some competition to get into. And as real racing fans, we get to have racing come back, and we kind of were treated. I mean, we had issues early on with COVID, but because of it, we got some F1 racing a little bit later into the year because of everything being pushed back, which was kind of interesting. So we're not really having a huge off season of racing, getting right back into things. And every time I look, more and more people are getting added to the real Daytona 24 entry list. I saw, what was it? Just yesterday, I saw Robert Kubica is racing with a team, one of the Asian Le Mans teams. So there's going to be a lot of familiar faces. I don't know if you guys saw this, Chase Elliott, I think, on an entry list. Did I see that right, you think?
I think you might have.
Yeah, I think I did see something about that.
And Jimmy Johnson, and I mean, just people from all over, any kind of racing discipline. It really is. I don't want to say it's the IROC. I remember the IROC days as when I was younger, liking that. But I mean, it gets everybody together. That's for sure.
It does. One year, our team, we had the Labonte brothers on our team for the
On the
24.
team that you worked for.
Yeah. Yep. So that
Oh,
was a
wow.
good time. Yeah, that was a good time. They're really cool. But it is just like what you say. It's all walks of race and life are converged on Daytona, and that's what makes it such a cool event.
So as a team member, doing whatever you would do as a member of a team on the actual 24, what's it like having to stay up? Basically, did you ever find yourself dozing off?
Yeah. Yeah. You tried to a little bit, I did. I was a refueler, and it's interesting at 24. Everyone just thinks, oh, you're gonna race for 24 hours and it's done. You go home. And what like people don't realize on the crew, we get up early Saturday morning, day of the race. We've already been there. We've already practiced, had test sessions and stuff like that. And here's race day. We're up real early. Thank goodness the paddock didn't open back then until like 8 or 9 o'clock, because otherwise we'd be there. And thank goodness
Yeah.
the night before it closed at like 10 o'clock, because otherwise we'd
Yeah.
probably be there all night, because you're never really fully ready. So you get up, get to the track, you work on the car, whatever's got to be last minute preparations. Get your pit stall built. Back then we had to build the stuff and put the 2x4s out there that would hold the lights and everything.
Yeah.
It was early mid '90s that we raced, and so it was all that, get all our equipment down there, and it worked right up till race time. And when that green flag dropped, it was actually at that point you can take a little breath and say, relax a
Right.
little bit, and it's in the beginning, it's really cool. We're racing at 24 hours. You come in for your pit stop I think it was about every 45 minutes we pitted. I'd refuel the car, and also I did the fuel calculations and recorded all that stuff. And, you do that over and over and over again. And, evening comes, the sun starts to set. I know how you guys like the sunsets and all.
Oh, we love Matt Sim racing drivers love sunsets.
Yep. So, the sun would be setting. We're out there racing. That's cool, continue pit stops and stuff. And then it starts to become night. The lights come on. You can see Daytona changes when the lights come on, and you see the cars out there with the headlights and all. And that's pretty cool. And then, midnight or so comes, and you're like, this is cool. Midnight, we're still racing, And then 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. come along, and 4 a.m., and you're trying to take those little cat naps. It's cold, because Daytona is cold that time of year, at least the years we raced. Got that dampness in the air too, and you're just falling asleep, and like our team leader would like blow the whistle, like when we were getting ready to come into pits. It's like you'd hear that whistle, like, oh, shove that thing down his throat. I just need 10 minutes of sleep,
Yeah.
Get up, pit again. Now that's when everything goes right. And I remember one year pulling back into the garage area to work on the tranny. We had something in the transmission break, and that was just brutal. You're busting butt to get back out there.
Yeah.
We did, and it's like 5 or 6 in the morning, and the sun starts coming up, and you're like, okay, we made it. We got through the night. This is cool. Sun's coming up, a little sunrise action. We're still running, and you realize, oh yeah, we still got 7 or 8 more hours to go.
Yeah.
And then you get through and you make it through the end. Checker Falls. It's like, yeah, awesome. We finished the race. Everyone's celebrating. Didn't maybe finish all that well. I think the one year we finished like 52nd or something like
Oh,
that.
wow.
But it's like, who cares? We finished.
Right.
We're a low budget team. It was great. And then you get to pack everything up for the next 6 hours.
That's probably the part that nobody thinks about.
Yeah. And every morning, and then our flight out of Florida was like the next morning at like 6 a.m. out of like Orlando or something. And every year getting on that flight, it's like, I am never doing this again. And then like 2 months later, hey, we doing Daytona next year? Yeah, it's great. I mean, I it's a young man's game for sure, and
Right.
man, it's a lot of work to field the team, even though we were low budget, But yeah, it's a lot of work, but very enjoyable. I mean, I look back on it and like so happy I got the opportunity to do it for the number of years that we raced. It was fun.
Yeah, that's something that definitely worth doing, no doubt. And it's got to be. I mean, it's not even not remotely the same, but to do it virtually, and I can kind of see that in the planning and organization that like with our team and a lot of teams out there. I mean, you look now. We were saying last week in that episode that we're seeing more and more teams. I mean, you can find any kind of Daytona open session on iRacing hosted sessions now. So we're not by far not the only team doing it, but getting into it, really getting into it, getting enthusiastic about the virtual Daytona 24. I mean, that's it's just great to be able to do that. I mean, it's cool that iRacing has all of these huge events throughout the year.
It really is awesome. I remember when they first, quite a few years ago, I think you guys were on iRacing back when they did the 2.4.
I wonder, we may have been on there. I kind of remember that. We've been on and off so much that we've missed a lot. At least I did.
I think I remember it. I don't know. Was that even before they implemented the team racing into it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I did that back in the day. Me and Tyler may have even did our own switches under our one account, for all I know.
When would that have been, Bradley? Like when we first joined in 2010 or so?
Yeah, sometime in those early years, they had because they couldn't do it. I don't think they had the functionality for any time change like that. They would do the 2.4 hours of Daytona, and that would be their equivalent every year.
I kind of remember that. Yeah, I mean, I remember when there weren't day to night transitions.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. Hopefully someday we say, I remember when they didn't have rain.
Right. Hey, I mean, that's another discussion for the future of sim racing, but
right.
I mean, hey, we'll see. I thought they were teasing it for this latest build, but then they threw us the Delara IR01 and really fooled us. But
yeah.
Which is about as difficult to drive. It may as well be wet on the track to drive the thing, but
I have not driven that car yet.
Yeah, really?
I'm staying
I
out of it.
haven't, but I haven't raced it.
And as it happens, Bruce, and again, to get off our topic, but we can kind of do whatever we want here. Bruce and Bradley are the two guys that have not joined the Grand Prix series that Mad Sim Racing has created. I think out of fear. Is that what
I'm not a Formula U fan.
Formula U?
Me, yeah, I'll second that.
Yeah. You and Rob are the resident.
Yeah, we're the F1 hot takers here.
Yes.
Rob is the racing point of Mad Sim Racing, right?
Let's put it this
way. I don't know if I should. You like making fun of me?
No. I'm saying you'll win one race out of the year. Hey,
I guess so.
Hey, one is better than one every decade, like me.
That is true. That is true. And the only way that I could win a race is if it's in an oval league in which all the good people are not allowed to race. That's a reference to the Cyber Thunder Rising Star series.
That's the equivalent.
For those listening that aren't familiar, that's a iRating cap series, and I was able to win and compete in that because all the good people were not able to.
So you're saying you were in a race full of bad people?
Oh no, there were good people there still, but I had at least more of a chance.
They're very fine people.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often. Wins for the demons, that's for sure. we need bad fortune for others.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm waiting on, is to get a win. I just feel like it's a goddamn difficult. I can't.
That's your 2021 resolution?
Yeah, I mean, well, it's everyone's, isn't it? You want to win, but yeah, I mean, it's honestly, I'm thinking back over the 10 years I've been iRacing since 2010, and I can't think of my last victory. I really can't. I've never won a road race.
I mean, it's a miracle that you haven't given up to this point.
I know, right? I should.
I do want to point this out to you, Bradley. And
I know.
Anybody from? Oh, you know what I'm about to say.
Oh, I know.
Now, iRacing, if you're listening, don't ban us because this was a long time ago, and I'm now paying my fair share. But we've said before, back in the early days of iRacing, Bradley and I shared Bradley's name under an account. and I would race under his name, and we were 2-for-1 deal. And under Bradley's stats, if anybody ever looks at him, you will see one road win, and that was me at Road Atlanta,
I know
or Road America rather,
Star Mazda.
in the Star Mazdas, and I was shaking with pleasure. That didn't sound right.
Oh,
I was, I was
excitement, maybe.
excitement.
Okay.
I was shaking with excitement at the win of that.
Yeah.
And, hey, I mean,
You're trembling.
anybody? Yes.
With adrenaline. That's what you should
Adrenaline,
say. Shaking
that's
with
right.
excitement doesn't sound,
pleasure.
sound as well.
Time out here. I just looked this up. So it looks like Bradley's got 3 oval wins and 2 road wins.
Yeah.
Where was the other road win?
Is there a way to find out, actually?
Road win in 2015.
I know one of those was in the Legends.
That wasn't me.
Ovals. I won one of those. I've won. I think the last time I won was in the Arca car several years ago. I think it was one of those races.
I want to know where this one road win was.
20
One of them was me.
2010, there's a road win.
I've never won a road
That was
race.
me.
Okay.
I don't know that I've ever won.
2015 shows 1 win.
We got to find
2 top
Surely you would
fives.
remember that.
But look, and if Bruce, if you're looking at my stats, you can see my activity on iRacing over the years. And mind you, from 2013 on, I did no league racing, so that's the only time I used iRacing. I mean, in 2019, I used iRacing 6 times in a year.
For
official
racing, or what are you trying to say?
Racing. I mean, racing entirely. I mean, there were years.
That's it.
When we refer to the gap that I had, and especially Tyler had,
big gap.
I mean, most of those are mine. After 2011, Tyler never touched iRacing hardly.
Yeah.
So
I'm still better than you, right?
That sounds.
If I had
Podcast
cricket
episode.
sounds, I would play that.
I just want to know where this one. I mean, 2, and I thought you would just have 1 on there, and it was me. I want to know when you won on your own a road race, because to give more backstory to it. Back in 2010, 08, 09, 2010, me and Bradley started as NASCAR fans. I think we've said that before. That's where we grew up as NASCAR fans, and then I became an F1 fan myself. I would wake up. I'd set an alarm because of how early F1 races were. I'd watch it on Speed Channel, and I'd be the only one waking up to watch F1. I guess it made me feel special, or whatever the hell. And Bradley would just make fun of me for watching it. He was like, "Oh, road racing is boring, whatever." Look at him now.
I never liked Formula One. Never.
He just was. Yeah, he wasn't into it. I was the only one. So on iRacing, he would race ovals. I would never race ovals. I always did road racing. So we called him the oval guy, me the road guy, and he's joined the road.
Wholeheartedly. I'll admit that. I've come to the light side.
Right, but back then you never raced roads. So in 2015, I guess you got there.
Yeah, and I can tell you why. The reason is because you and me both started out in NASCAR 2003 season, as we said, and there's no road racing there. I mean, other than Watkins Glen.
Yeah, there was a Trans Am thing, but I mean, it's not like iRacing where every the physics of everything's different.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I guess it's a mystery then. You think it's you think it was the Mazda?
I'm thinking, car. I might have won something in the Mazda, maybe. Certainly through attrition, not through my own skill.
Back then, I think, didn't they? If the Mazda raced on an oval, it still count as a road win.
I know I've never done a road race or a oval Mazda race that I can recall.
Okay.
I feel like I remember.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know. I would be willing to guess, Tyler, if that was one of yours.
I don't think I won 2, unless I won a Mazda. Maybe.
Let me ask this: when did the GTE cars come out? When did the Ford? Was that 2017?
I don't know.
Because the Ford GTE, I did start racing road more frequently.
Yeah. You and I did. We've told that story.
Yeah. Well, look at my stat on 2017. I started 20 races, and that was on my own. 38. I was active in 17 because I just gotten VR, and then I just let it go from the next 2 or 3 years until this year.
Yeah, and that's where you leapfrogged me, because when you got VR, I tried it a couple times. I felt seasick, and I never did anything with it.
And I started doing it more frequently up to a certain point. Then I just kind of get out of it.
We've opened up a real mystery here, at least for us.
Yeah, at the higher side. It's surely. I mean, I wish there was a way to go back. I mean, it shows your last 10 races. Surely there's a record. Let me go back and look at my saved replays.
In the UI, but in the old website, you could do searches like by finishing position. You just type in finish first. Just do a search, and your 2 wins would show right at the top.
Huh.
Wow.
But that, well, I guess you can still do that in the old.
Oh, boy.
website, right?
I think so. So I'm looking at my old replays. I have replays saved back to 2017, and that would be the last ones saved, or the earliest ones I have saved, or you and me, Tyler, our first effort at Le Mans that we lasted like 12 hours.
Ah,
So I still have those replays of us in the Ford.
I remember that.
Let's see, but nothing
I
in
remember
2015. Yeah. Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah, that was that. I mean, obviously, that was when there was day-night transitions, right?
Yeah, it's been around. Yeah, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. I don't
Maybe
think
not.
it was.
Okay, that's how out of the loop I got.
Yeah. Well, see, it's all distorted sometimes. The time I forget how old my headset is. It's actually several years. I mean, a few years old now. It's definitely showing age. I need to get some upgrades here.
Well, we'll get to the bottom of that. We'll do a 60-minute style into the apex of who drove the car and what was the car when Bradley won his second road race, because that's a mystery.
I need to inquire with iRacing.
But what was it? Let's we've taken a very long detour, but yeah, I was very excited to win that Pro Mazda race. I'm just going to tell you that right now. I mean, who here has won a race? Everybody here has won a race. Rob, maybe you haven't, and that's not meant to be a dig, right?
I have one road.
You have a road win. What was your
Yes.
road win?
I think in the what is it? The Global Production Challenge.
That sounds great. How excited were you to get that win? That wasn't
I didn't
meant to
even
sound
know that I
patronizing,
did win.
by the way.
It was multi-class, and it was I forget. It was like 20 minutes. I wasn't really paying attention. I had done a couple of them earlier in the day and got wrecked, and then I didn't even know that I won. I just one day we were talking on the Discord
defeats the
or
whole thing.
something.
I was going to say, I have been close to wins and I have lost wins because I got so excited that I messed up and missed my marks and really screwed up.
Yeah, the pressure gets to me.
Yeah, I'm asking basically is, do you guys, when you won, maybe when Bruce is very good at driving road races, so maybe he got desensitized to it, maybe not. But whenever I'll contend for a win, I'll start to kind of shoot my foot or leg on the pedal will kind of shake. I don't know how to describe it really. It's not a fear, but it's kind of like adrenaline.
Oh yeah,
I literally do the exact same thing.
Okay, good. I didn't know if I was weird or not.
yeah,
I mean,
probably. Yeah, that sounds like what would happen in real life if I had to guess. I mean, just natural adrenaline, which is kind of a testament to how realistic it all is.
well, that's why we all keep doing it. We keep coming back to it.
Oh yeah, the feeling is pretty intense.
Yeah, that's what I tried to tell people that like my friends like around here, like whenever I'm sim racing, they're like, why are like you're never playing anything else anymore? And I'm just like, man, nothing else will ever make my heart thump the same way.
Yeah. Call of Duty's not doing that.
Yeah, you don't blink when you're sim racing. You don't blink. You can't blink. I remember Jeff Gordon pointing that out back when they were doing broadcasts during early parts of COVID, at how when they had the webcams on the NASCAR guys, they would still not blink and point out how that's real. That's how real racers are. And I noticed that you notice that in yourself. Sometimes you have to kind of force yourself to blink when you're really having to focus, when you're in a rhythm on a road course or you're drafting at Talladega or whatever it is.
Yeah, when you're on like the tail end of a long stint in an endurance race, like just trying to keep your brain just there is so much. So yeah,
not miss your marks.
So do you want to know Bradley's 2010 win?
2010, is that not Road America and the Mazda?
It is.
That was not Bradley. That was me.
That was you. Okay, so
that was me. That's credit to me.
I actually have the results because it's I have a certificate as my first win.
That's how I found it.
Yeah.
Yep. That was me.
The other one seems to be untraceable.
I was so excited to get that win because for some reason, road wins, it just felt like it would never happen. I mean, it's not I don't think it's happened for me since, actually. I mean, in any kind of official race. I mean, I'm excited to get a top 10 in IMSA, Le Mans, whatever. I'm thrilled.
I see some of these guys you beat, see if they're still active. That's the thing about iRacing. They keep all the stats. It's there somewhere.
Cool.
It's in there somewhere. See how active. And that would be interesting to know how many people from 2010. I mean, there's quite a few people that are still active in racing.
Yeah, Bruce, when did you get into iRacing?
Let's see, 2008.
08. Okay, so it's been a while.
Oh, let's see here. I mean, doesn't it tell you?
Oh, I don't have it pulled.
Yeah, it'll tell you on
Were you one? I don't know why I picture you as being one. Did you ever have NASCAR 2003 season?
Actually, no, I did not. I did
Okay.
not get into any kind of real racing online. I mean, I think I bought like some Formula One, papyrus races, stuff like that, and played that a little bit, but never got really into any online stuff until
Right.
iRacing came along. And a friend of mine was doing it, and he kept telling me about it. Like, you gotta try it, gotta try it. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Once I got it, then never looked back.
Yeah, I mean, iRacing was something. Having started with 2003 season, it felt like it was just kind of pieced together, I guess. But iRacing was just kind of more wholesome in a way, with all the different types of racing and the way official open races. You didn't quite have to join a league. I think back then you basically had to join a league to get any kind of decent experience out of things.
Yeah, iRacing didn't have leagues back then.
Yeah,
2008. I was just looking. Yeah, December 30th, 2008. I joined.
I see. Yeah, so long hauler and
Yeah, back then. I remember racing against Ray Alfala. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, right. Now look at him.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a lot of cool book. If I go back and look at the days of running Legends and pull up some of the names, it's pretty cool. But then when they got into the road side of things, I was like, oh, this is cool. I like this. When they really started pumping stuff out, then the Daytona 2.4, and I was hooked. I was hooked. So many thousands of dollars later, here.
oh yeah, you're 100% club member, right?
Yeah.
You got it all.
Even though I haven't, there's probably 8 or 9 cars I haven't even sat in yet.
Including the Laura 01.
Yeah. Yep.
I think we got to get you on Renault, on Team Renault.
Yeah, sure.
Or you can do a Racing Point with Rob.
There you go.
Become the second Canadian driver of Racing Point.
So I
Give
have
them a chance.
There you go. So in those number of years, I've got 1,100 oval starts and 520 road starts,
Oh wow.
and that's missing. Obviously, it doesn't have the leagues because I've done a lot of league racing.
Yeah.
I enjoy the leagues.
Yeah, me too. I've noted lately here, the last maybe 6 months, 4 or 5 months, maybe. I've not done quite as many official races, so my stats kind of stalled a little bit. But I'm doing league stuff just about every night. I mean, at least weeknights.
And that's like what we were saying earlier. It's like that's what becomes kind of tough to do all these leagues and then try to get ready for official sessions, right? When it really counts for your ratings and stuff. Although I don't know how much that really matters anymore. What do you guys think of the whole, this new way of signing up for these endurance races with taking the team average finally?
I think it. I mean, why not? I don't see a problem with it. The split that you're in. Sometimes I don't even care if I know what split I'm in. I mean, I don't suspect that any team that I'm on is going to get in the top split. And the one time our teams were in a top split for the BMW 120 at Interlagos, Rob, you were saying, what, just today? Everything since then, that was such a stressful thing to be in that we almost didn't have fun. We were so stressed out, those of us that were driving.
Yeah, there was a lot to take in, but yeah, I'm the same way with you. Like, I don't even check what split I'm in until I check the results after the race. Like, I don't care while I'm in there.
Yeah, it seems fair to declare your drivers and you get where you get and that kind of thing.
Well, yeah, that's the way it should be. No one should be like taking easy wins like that.
Yeah,
there's long history of that going on. Didn't one of our teams, or wasn't there a Mad Sim team that got like in a split with like some really high I rating guys?
I don't remember. I do know. I was about to say
That was with the BMW Sim Cup, right?
no, that was just because there weren't many people signed up for it.
Yeah,
For the Interlagos one, there weren't many people, and we all got put in the top split with Roman Grosjean, Verstappen,
who we passed.
Sebastian Job, all these guys.
Yeah, Max Banky. So yeah, the I ratings were crazy in that race. Like, there was people with 9,500 and 10,000 I rating.
Yeah, and it's being broadcast on Race Spot TV, and Mad Sim Racing spun, and they called us out on the broadcast like Mad Sim Racing. We did a whole episode on that. You can look back in our Into the Apex archives. of that experience, top split experience. But I think what you may be talking about is I think you were watching us at the time. Our first ever one, the Daytona 24 or the Le Mans 24 this past year. It was our first ever one. We were all pumped up for it. Just a bunch of rookies in endurance racing, and we got signed up, but it wouldn't let us sign up. There was all these glitches with iRacing, and we missed the 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. regular start. That was when iRacing had to basically create a second session improvised, and we got mashed in there with some really high I ratings, including Scott McLaughlin and his team, which actually ended up winning. But when we went back and looked at the I ratings and stats, we saw that it was really not balanced at all. There was really it wasn't balanced at all. So
that might be the one I remember. Yeah.
It was a little crazy, but it was an interesting first experience. I mean, there at Le Mans, and we had some setup difficulties that we may have mentioned before. Rob, you didn't have your pit limiter button set or something like that, and you ended up having to do a lap at Le Mans on the pit limiter speed, unable to turn it off.
Yeah. That was my first lap in endurance racing.
So memories there, very good memories from Le Mans. But we were so thrilled. We were excited to just finish the thing and to stay up all night.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I want to kind of, myself, I want to go back and watch some of the live stream videos. I know Mike Martino did some of those, and I'm sure they're still up on either his page or ours. Kind of want to go back and relive the last 24 hours.
It's crazy. I mean, not to be so centered on our team. I mean, Into the Apex is for everybody, but if you look at our website, we've got a Daytona TV page. If you hover over the endurance link on our webpage, you'll see a Daytona TV link, and we're going to have several streams going this year for all and several team entries. It's a whole new effort for us. And, it'll be, and it's hard to believe. It's been a long time. We've only ever done 2 24-hour races. We've done so many of these 6-hour ones and a couple 12 hours, but this will just be our third as Mad Sim Racing. Attempt at a 24-hour race, and our first with you, Bruce, as the basically the main guy, the coach, organizer for the endurance racing, with a lot of experience, a lot more than we have. You were with Can-Am Racing before, and this is pretty big undertaking. Where does this stack up to, I guess, compared to some of your past efforts with Can-Am?
This is honestly the biggest effort we've put together. Like, I think our biggest in Can-Am, we had 5 teams one year. The amazing thing about that was, while my team was looked upon as being, ones that should probably take home a victory, and ended up not winning, not doing all that good that year, if I remember right. And we had 3, like the other 4 teams, win their splits in their class, and it's just like, it was amazing. And I think one of the other teams was like top 5, and that was like a huge, with 5 teams, that was a huge undertaking then, and to do that well. And the cool thing was, a lot of them guys, probably 90% of those drivers, are all oval guys. It was like one of their first forays into road racing. So that's made the accomplishment even that much bigger. Now we move to here in Mad Sim, and I watched you guys race because I knew Mike Martino, and I said, let me check them out. I don't think I really had a team together for Le Mans. I was really unsure what Can-Am was going to do, so I was kind of watching and said, let's check out Mike's stream and listen to you guys for a while and watched you race. And I'm like, these guys seem to have some ambitions. I like it. Just listen to you guys talk. I'm like, these guys want to do this. I'm like, I like this. So that's what I think I sent you to PM that night, and the rest is history, as they say. Yeah. But this is definitely, we, as of right now, I think we have the potential for possibly 9 teams going into the 24.
We've got some a big influx, which you actually predicted that, and you were dead on that. Like I said at the early part of the show tonight, a lot of people scrambling. You see all over. There's people trying to recruit 1 or 2 people. People flake out, whatever, or people just wait to the end and just mash up a team. But we because of that, we've gotten 4 or 5 international drivers from the Netherlands, England, France. We've got here lately that are interested, and a couple more Canadian drivers. We're very close to starting our own Mad Sim Racing team of the North here. I think, Rob, as you dubbed it. We love our Canadian teammates, and I think, and we're going to partner up with OMR Esports, Old Mate Racing, which is Jimmy Thomas, one of our buddies from our first 2 24-hour races. Going to do a joint effort under the Sim Racer Coin banner, which sponsors both of our teams. So we're considering that, and probably enough for at least one more full Mad Sim Racing team. We're going to have quite a bit going. And to throw out there, one of our sponsors of the podcast, as well as the endurance team, Bad Weather Brewery, they're going to be streaming that team's stream on Mad Sim Racing Daytona TV at the actual brewery in Minnesota or St. Paul. While people are enjoying some Bad Weather brews, they're going to be watching that 24-hour race as long as the brewery is open into that night. And that's just amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's next level.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're can't say enough about Bad Weather supporting the podcast here as we've improved it, and supporting the endurance team in that way. And anybody that looks at our stuff, our sponsors are basically how we separate our teams, and it works out really well. But we're going to have a little celebration too the week after the Daytona 24. Everybody's going to be doing some drinking and virtual driving, much like Christmas. And there's a YouTube video of our experiences with that.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll be a nice way to decompress after all the work, and hopefully a celebration of a victory or podium. I think that's what we're aiming for, at least a podium, and for sure a victory, at least one victory, which a victory for one of our groups and teams is a victory for all of
Everybody.
us.
Yeah.
So that's how it is here at Mad Sim Racing. I think everybody that's comes in and is new to the team can see how everybody works together, and I think we've worked pretty hard to maintain that environment and make sure we have people here that are kind of similar mindset, I guess. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, I am amazed at like how, seamlessly a lot of this has all come together, and how much effort so many guys are putting in. I mean, it just everyone wants this to work. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of positivity and fairly low on the drama. I think anything that could be called drama is more comedy than drama. And I won't go into any more detail than that. We'll keep that as an internal matter, or matters. But definitely nobody that's with our team at this moment is that referring to, by the way. But yeah, you over the years, I'm sure, Bruce, as you've been in leagues and different teams, I mean, people are people, and you run into some different personalities. I mean, geez, you go into any particular open iRacing official session, and you get to see those personalities front and center. And it's America, Europe, Asia, doesn't matter where they're from. You get some characters, and we're sure to hear some of those through the course of the 24. People engage in some drama and bickering on iRacing just as anywhere.
And and that's one of the highlights. I think of these 24-hour and endurance races is over the time that you spend with these teams on track. It's kind of the relationship you build with them over that time. You may have never raced with them before, but stories kind of develop over time, and you certainly remember them as they come past you or you go past them.
It's very sweet, Bradley. Very sweet.
Yeah, I mean, no, here's the plan. We're going to do a like a Fastbender style Porsche series of Mad Sim Racing's road to the Daytona 24.
There you go.
Do a documentary.
It's audio only. This is it. You're listening.
We'll do some audio talking heads. It'll be glorious.
This is true. Both Bradley and I have each spent a 24-hour race watching the sunrise with Jimmy of Australia.
Beautiful.
Just he and I at Le Mans. Just he and Bradley at Spa.
Yeah, I remember that. The sun was coming up. It was about maybe 1:30 in the morning, my time, and then the sun was coming up. Maybe a little later.
You should memorialize this in a romance novel. Over the French countryside.
It's a romance down under.
Oh God!
Yeah, I just
All right. So yeah,
Uh,
Oh, well,
what were we talking about? Endurance racing?
I think so. Daytona.
Yeah,
maybe?
Daytona.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting. Yeah, we're gonna have. Here's another aspect of Daytona that everybody can relate to. Probably, maybe a concern that everybody can relate to, especially a team like ours and all these other teams out there that have multiple entries. And you're trying to get a group of guys together, and you may have a core group that you know and trust pretty well, but maybe you've got some last minute folks, or you're just jumping together with last minute folks. What if somebody flakes out and the race is underway and you're on hour 12 and it's 1 a.m. Eastern time, whatever, and it's time to do the night stint and somebody doesn't wake up, somebody's not ready to go. What happens then? Bruce, have you ever seen that with any team you've been a part of?
Oh yeah, yeah. A couple of years back, we were running pretty good. Miles was in the car, my teammate Miles Crab, and I'm sleeping, and Josh Cotton was supposed to take over, and his alarm didn't go off, and I think Miles ended up doing like a 5 or 6 stints, and that was back when it was like an hour for a stint, right, in the C7, and and I woke up, and I guess Josh, at that point just got in the car and like, hey, what's going on? How we doing? Well, Miles just got done running like 6 stints, and like, why? What happened? He's like, oh, my alarm didn't go off. So
Yeah.
it does happen. It does happen. Yeah. And that's another interesting thing with this new way of registering for the race, where you got to, register all your drivers prior to joining the race. What if the guy in the morning, that was going to run, it doesn't show up 12 hours later,
Yeah. Then you're out of luck, right?
Yeah, at least before, if he never showed up for the race, well, he never counted, right? The sim wasn't looking for him, so he didn't have to worry about fair share and stuff like that. Now in Josh's case, he'd already signed in and registered, drove some laps, a couple stints. So yeah, is what it is. It happens, and
That's something that was in the back of my mind as we have several entries. It's like we're counting on more people, so there's more opportunity for that to maybe happen, purposefully or not, right?
Yeah, things happen.
So,
Things happen. I mean, you talk about, you were joking before about the pit limiter driving around. Yeah, that's happened to us too.
Yeah.
Somebody didn't have it mapped, and they got out there and ran all the way around Daytona at 50 miles an hour.
I'll never forget it, and we'll never let Rob forget it.
Yeah, just
I'll
Le
never
Mans is a
forget it.
really, really long track. Imagine that at Nürburgring.
yeah.
Oh
That-
God,
that-
that's such a small thin track too.
Yeah,
I
you'd
mean,
have to tow. You would have to tow in that situation. Yeah, Le Mans has plenty of space for it, but oh well. I mean, hey,
It happens.
We did it. It happened. We finished P24 still. We were thrilled.
Yeah.
That was another thing. Speaking of the overnight and relying on folks, I'll say this about our mutual teammate and friend Mike Martino. He co-drove with us at Le Mans. Oval guy, trying to figure out the road, but by God, he would take those morning stints. He agreed to come on. He did it for Spa too, by the way. Said, I'll wake up and I'll do some stints at 4 a.m., 4:30 a.m., 5 a.m. Myself, Jimmy from Australia, were the two that stayed up on the team for that Le Mans overnight. I brewed some coffee at 1 a.m. Eastern time, jumped in the car to relieve Jimmy because he did a triple stint. It was about 4 a.m. I was really tired. I was not sharp. I was ready to pass out. Coffee wore off. And I was like, God, I hope Mike gets up, because if he doesn't, I don't know I'm not going to make it. Jimmy's going to have to do even more and probably be by himself because I'm just not going to stay awake. But like an Iron Man or an Iceman, Mike was up, and he did that in 2 24-hour races. And thank God for that. Because you'll get excited, and there's some adrenaline, and it's very cool, and it's novel to be able to do it. And I do, like I said earlier, cool part of it's staying up overnight. I mean, you don't usually pull an all-nighter like that for something that you want to do an all-nighter for. And but at some point the adrenaline wears off and you do have to pass out and get some sleep for your own good. And I'd hit that wall. And that's a point in time where you hope that the next shift, so to speak, is ready to roll.
there's nothing better than, if you're out there by yourself running laps at 3:30 in the morning, and it's quiet, nobody's around,
Right.
and there's nothing more refreshing than hearing someone pop into that team speak and say,
Yeah.
"Hey, good morning, how we doing?"
Yeah. Oh,
Oh yes, you're here.
yeah. I had that with Mike. Absolutely. And Bradley, I think you did that for us with Spy. I did not. We took turns. Now for our car for Daytona in a couple weeks, the Into the Apex LMP2, which, by the way, we've seen some previews of the paint design, which we're going to release hopefully shortly. Excellent stuff. And myself, Rob, Bradley, and David. But Bradley and I volunteered us for Bradley and I to be the two that do the overnight stint. I don't know how you're feeling about that, Bradley.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to get one in earlier. Obviously, I'll be up and active in the morning and throughout the day watching. We'll have to take a nap or two. But
Now, are you going to have coffee at like midnight?
coffee,
Yeah.
I'm going to get a Raise Energy.
There you go. I
Oh,
was
there
just
we
gonna
go.
say, where's the raise?
Sponsored by Rays.
Oh, I'll have coffee in the morning, but I'll have some Raise on
Oh,
hand.
what are you going to have for lunch?
Promote. Some Raise Energy.
Okay. Yeah.
Ask me what I'm gonna have for dinner.
Okay. What do you have for dinner?
Some Raise Energy.
And then when it's time for you to get a quick nap, what are you gonna have?
Some Raise Energy.
No, the hypersleep. Oh,
Jesus Christ.
We're not playing the same game here.
it's by Rays.
Yeah, you got to know your product.
I don't have the depth of knowledge that Bruce has on the Raise products.
What about you, Bruce? Are you going to do you sign? I don't know if you guys have done your sheet yet. We'll talk about it probably closer, but you doing the overnight? What do you have going on?
We just started discussing that. I usually start the race, and I do like a late evening stint, and then sometime 3-4 o'clock I take over for a while in the morning. So that's how we've done it in the past. I'm not sure how we're doing it this year. There's a lot more variables this year with the way the stints are going to work with the LMP, and I don't want to give away any trade secrets or
we're not getting into
ideas,
too much,
but it's going to be interesting this year with how things are going to work out. I think so. We're still kind of strategizing.
And Rob, what are your preferred stints?
I'm going to take a different approach this year in regards. Like, I know the last 24 hours we did, I was really just still on kind of traditional hours, but I was doing other things. Like, I'd be watching and then like having to run away for a few hours, but I'm going to try to stick around for the full thing this time, even through the night.
Well, hey, that's
I mean, I think most of us, with it being the work we put in, I think the hype is going to be real for this one.
Yeah, there's definitely more hype for sure, but well, good. I'm glad you'll stay up with us. We can let David.
Oh yeah, so that means me and Tyler don't have to drive.
Yeah, you'll just drive by yourself for 6 hours overnight.
Oh, thanks.
We'll do that.
Yeah, I'll drive. You guys just sip on Rays.
You have your espresso. The rest of us are sitting here drinking good beverages to relax, and you're getting caffeinated up at 8:47 at night.
Well,
I switched to alcohol.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
What did you switch to? What are you having?
I'm on a vodka soda,
geez.
Blue Lobster.
Good deal.
I was going to say maybe he's going to run some Daytona laps after the podcast, but
That's right. Hey, you might get faster. Might be
You
what
might.
you need. We may have to have you sauced up for the Daytona 24.
Should probably turn a few laps on Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm gonna do exactly the same.
Yeah, we're gonna run a little very low stakes. Now it's the European Endurance Series. We're gonna run some of that in the LMP2 and get familiar with the LMP2. And I think as we've got about 2 episodes more before the actual Daytona 24, and we'll probably talk more about some of the car choices and how the cars drive and break down some of that and just keep talking that. But yeah, it's been fun here kicking it off, having basically a special Daytona kickoff episode. It's the Roar Before the 24. I'm sure that's trademarked and we'll get sued, but it's what it is. And I couldn't be more excited for it. I mean, it's going to be a good time, interesting month, a lot of work, and we're going to be ready for another track at the end of it. But we're going to get that implicit memory.
there you go. I mean, I'm pumped up for it. I can't get here soon enough in one respect.
Yeah.
In the other respect, like, whoa, put the brakes on here. I got a lot to do yet.
Yeah, look at the calendar. I mean, next weekend is the last weekend to get the last minute work in, and then there it is.
Yeah.
It's here, and we got so many teams and team captains and organization, and got the war room getting set up for race day for our particular team. And we're excited to see some of the other teams out there that we brush up against in some of these European or endurance series, and some teams we like, some teams we don't like. Words have sometimes been exchanged. The pit paddock may clear, and people may start doing some fighting, but it's all in good competition.
Yeah, I mean, we've built up a few rivalries here over the past year or so.
Yeah, a little bit, no doubt.
It's all good.
But yeah, next week we'll get into more Daytona talk, as well as whatever else is going on with iRacing and sim racing. But until then, we thank Bruce for joining us, and he'll be back with us for these Daytona episodes. And you've been listening to Into the Apex.
You've been listening to Into the Apex. Presented by Mad Sim Racing. Follow and join the team at madsimracing.com.